And I feel that this is a very not necessarily well received concept of that it's not a well received concept because it is so backwards from what we are taught. First of all, what I want to bring attention to is that first of all, it gets so I don't want to say overwhelming, but it is okay. You can feel super insignificant when things are going on at such like a world level that what can I even do to help? It's just me. It is just me. I don't matter in this world of freaking chaos. If everybody thought that, then what good would that do? Do be the one person. If you are only the one person that thinks that they can actually make a change just by going inward, that you can actually do something different. I promise. The ripple effect is a real thing. Just think of when people smile at you. What is that, right? You smile back. It's just feels good. Okay, unconditional love. I feel we weren't actually raised to know what the hell that looks like. Unconditional love is actually not controlling people. It is giving people the option to live their full experience, allows them to live life in exactly on their terms, even if that means stumbling and falling, even and especially when their viewpoint is different than yours. So, what do we do when we think that people are hurting themselves, right? What do we do when I'm going to use like being in recovery, being in 12-step programs? A lot of people want to be there and help as many people as possible because they don't want them to die, basically. Or they feel that their help, that they can help those people. Now, what winds up happening is like there are so many boundaries that are crossed. People wind up pushing what they see as their truth onto these people. People wind up being very dogmatic and like things are only black and white. So, what that looks like is it's this way. This is the only way that will save you. This is the only way that you will be able to have recovery. And guess what? There is not just one way for life. There's just not one way that like helps people. And so this is really like where unconditional love becomes like paving the way to hell with in based intentions. Because and in the past, like I have been that person to be like, you're not gonna get help because you're not doing things the way that I was told that they should be done. Or you don't actually want help because you're not doing things that what they say. And so there is so many different ways that people interrupt people's life process that actually becomes controlling. We can be like, yeah, but that person was going to die or that person was going to hurt themselves. Like I also think of children as we parent the kids. What do we do when they're up on a table? We yell, right? We yell, we get frightened, we scream. People tend to discipline with hurt and that creates fear. That is a fear-based way of living, drilling fear into people for so they don't get hurt in the way that they deem as hurt. Our path is not everyone's path. My path is not your path. And I am open to different perspectives and I am open to seeing things differently. And I welcome diverse perspectives and that is precisely why I feel that it is so imperative to do a lot of the work before you start healing or working with other people because you push your viewpoints onto other people without even knowing it. And then they're just programmed to the way things. Unconditionally loving is allowing people to have their own perspectives. It is being open to having diverse perspectives and knowing that you will be safe no matter what somebody does, that you are not going to fall apart if someone else does this thing. It isn't about what is going to happen to that other person. It is about knowing that you are completely safe and you can be strong and steady in your being and be that anchor for other people when shit is hitting the fan. So another example would be okay, so we look inward, like the whole world wants to begin to point fingers at each other. When has that worked? When has anger, fought with anger, came to any type of compromise or any type of dissolving of barriers or anything? When has fighting created peace? It hasn't. And I know that this is such like an absurd concept because of what we have been from what we have been taught and looking we can be distracted by a cause. We can be distracted from ourself going inward versus pointing outward. Most of the people in within the world is looking to the other person to blame. There's always a blame game that is happening. And justified anger seems to be some of the worst type of action coming from that. Being angry about what is happening is absolutely okay, but let's also look at how we can be like really effective and make some difference from it. What is different? What haven't we done in the past that we can do presently? And we have done all the other things, right? We have done all of the other things and focusing our attention outward and pointing to, we know the solution. What if we admit we don't know what to do and that we can only really look inward? And like when we look inward, when we learn to unconditionally love ourselves, when we love the fucking mess, we love all the dark stuff, everything, all of our thoughts that are disruptive within ourselves, when we learn to embrace all of those things and integrate that into our experience, like we are very okay with allowing people their own perspective because we know our world won't fall apart. When we go inward, we are able to be an anchor for other people that are not, that do not know how to present themselves in a loving manner. Think of a time or a person that sounded like a no, comforted, comfortable, heard, and seen. There's that is the feeling that is healing. That is the feeling that dissolves things. And without pushing our perspectives onto other people, when we learn how to go inward, we're able to just be there in other people's pain without pushing our perspectives and trying to fix everything. Trying to fix things is a way to distract yourself from from what is actually going on. Because that kindness, that love, that type of love and compassion and caring can heal big barriers. It absolutely can. That is all right, Elaine talk. Yeah. So I just love you all. And I'm very grateful for the space to be able to be here and know that you can be that one person that makes a difference because you're not adding to the fight. You are dissolving the fight with looking inward. You don't need to fight to take place in part of the action. Taking action isn't fighting or not necessarily standing up for something. It can absolutely just be dissolving those barriers within you so you're able to dissolve the anger and the animosity that is within you and around you. So just think on that one. And again, I love you all so much. And I'm sending you so much love and so much comfort in this time.